very tired puppy. Our Tucker test kids are now 16 weeks old, and I thought I might share with you where we are in terms of training Miss Luca. We have not done much in the way of structured training, but rather shaping and molding behaviors that are helpful here around the house. We've done a fair amount of socialization, getting her out with family and friends and safe dogs. We will build on that here on out now that she's fully vaccinated and start getting her out more and more into the public. We've done a lot of exposing her to the fields and the woods, letting her run with the rest of our family pack and letting her find her place. She does really enjoy getting out and running, and of course that's fantastic exercise for a puppy. We've done a great amount of crate training. She's fantastic in the crate next to the bed at night when we're sleeping. She's very good in a crate if she's next to another dog. She's not very good alone in a room in a crate. So we're working on getting her to be a little more comfortable if she has to be by herself. We've done some place training, some loose leash walking. We've played some retrieving games. And I thought I would just share some clips of those experiences with you, and maybe here on out to continue to share videos in hopes that maybe they will help in your training endeavors. I hope you enjoy. Crate training can be quite challenging. We want puppy to feel comfortable and feel safe, especially when left alone. As I said earlier, Luca does very well crated at night next to our bed because she knows we're close by. She also does well if she's crated next to another dog during the day. However, should we leave her crated in a room all by herself, she gets quite upset. So I've begun a process that's going to condition her to being more comfortable in the crate, seeing me leave, and not getting upset. It's most definitely going to be a slow process with very tiny baby steps, starting out with feeding her through the top of the crate very high value treats, then moving on to feeding her at eye level through the door. The next step will be to close the door, open the door, feed her. Moving on to closing the door, locking the door, opening the door, feed her. Next, we'll close the door, lock the door, stand up, and return. Follow that up with standing up, stepping back, return. Then 2 steps and 3 steps. You'll see in the next clip I've positioned the crate around the side of a doorway. That way I can step out of view and right back. As you can imagine, the progression will be that we will increase the time that we're out of the room, and hopefully she will remain comfortable. I'm sure you're going to notice and probably wonder about the practice of me taking the treat from my mouth and feeding it to Luca. I am using mozzarella string cheese, so it's comfortable for me to keep that in my mouth. However, the practice of treating from the mouth is often used in many training exercises where you want to maintain focus and eye contact. That's not necessary really for this exercise, but it is a habit of mine when I am training to keep food in my mouth for the dog. You'll see the progression here to where I'm stepping out of the room and immediately back in. This is to convince Luca that me leaving is not a bad thing and that I will return and that she can be comfortable while I do that. Very gradually, the next step will be to increase the time that I am out of the room. This will be a very slow progression over the next couple of days and weeks to come. I do want to stress that this is a process that will take a great deal of time, many days to perhaps weeks. If you can repeat the exercise a couple of times a day, all the better. Place training is conditioning pup to go to a certain spot and stay there. This is helpful when we need pup to take a break and not be underfoot. I'm using a Cato place board as a target area for Luca to land on to train this exercise. In this clip, I'm introducing Luca to loose leash walking. I'm using a regular flat collar and leash and some string cheese for its high value. This will eventually lead into heeling. I always work with pup on my left as we compete in obedience and rally, and heeling is always done with dog on the left. I like to start in a hallway as the wall will keep her in position and close, and there are very little distractions. I use the cheese right in front of her nose to lure her, and in fact, I will even let her nibble if necessary to keep her in position. Take a few steps, stop, and use the cheese to lure her into a sit. This can be done by lifting up and going back over her head. Usually pup will look up at the cheese and the butt will drop into a sit. At this point, I'm not using any verbal cues, but as she gets better and better with this, I will start adding heel as we step off with our left foot and sit as we come to a stop. I also like to play retrieving games in the hallway. It encourages her to bring the bumper back to me as opposed to running anyplace else.